This episode is going to be very different because I plan to show you all a bunch of behind the scenes footage, give some photos, a whole bunch of stuff that I haven't and have put on social media, but give you my point of view, train of thought, what I was feeling, a whole, like essentially this is going to be a lot of behind the scenes. I might call this episode the behind the scenes episode. I hope you enjoy. There was this woman who created a forum for dating and compatibility, and I was inspired because I never thought to do something like that. A lot of the get to know you style questions that are pretty basic can get boring and stale, especially when you're trying to figure out dating for the first time in a while. And this is a cool little way to check it out. So I made a form. I'll probably put the link in this video or send it, get it out there some type of way. I'm not putting myself out there because I don't want to be like caught off guard in this dating space. I'm trying to take my time because I'm not for the streets. Like I barely be on the sidewalk at that, but I gotta eventually get out there and figure this stuff out. And I want to be intentional with my time. And I think this is a cool, different way to figure stuff out like that. Surprise. I'm a grown man that plays with toys. Yeah, I started to connect with my inner child. Growing up, I didn't really play sports like that. I was into it just to hang out with the kids in the neighborhood, but I was really interested in Power Rangers, Transformers, and like little figures like that's a bathing ape figure. And this is probably the least exciting, but it got a lot of significance because my older cousin and I are very competitive when it comes to Monopoly. And every time I get something Monopoly related, she try to check me on it. But I think this is going to be a lot of fun because I always got this running joke that she be hiding the money and cheating. Well, with this money, it wouldn't be able to for her to hide and cheat. But some of these things, like this is Sound Blaster, which is a special edition version of Sound Wave, which are Decepticons. This is a triple changer Decepticon. And I know what y'all thinking, Decepticons are the bad guys in Transformers. But if you like read the comic books and get to the lore, the Decepticons got a good point on why they be fighting against the Autobots. But I'm definitely going to buy some more Transformers and get like to all of that and showing off some of those. Eventually, I'm going to put together the Megazord so that you all can see what that's hitting for. And I'm probably going to do that later on tonight just to chill and relax. But the thing about getting into this hobby is that, one, it is refreshing to be able to look back on some of those things that I enjoyed when I was a young kid. And now that I'm an adult, I get to like share this. I remember when I was a little boy, my pops had all of his old Transformers when he was a little kid. And it was always fun to me. I even got a bunch of my old Yu-Gi-Oh cards upstairs. And if you've known me since I was young, Yu-Gi-Oh was like a big part of my childhood. That's a whole different story. But yeah, I'm gonna probably share some of this stuff and just like back down memory lane. And this is my new hobby that I've gotten into, messing with whole collectibles and stuff like that. I'm probably gonna cop one at least once a month. It's like a little reward to myself, buying myself my own flower. And it might seem silly, but it's like therapeutic to be able to go down memory lane and play with some of the things you used to play when you was younger, or like get into that. So whatever hobbies you got out there, check them out, especially if they were hobbies from when you were younger. If it's appropriate for you today, I wouldn't recommend going to like McDonald's and playing in a playpen talking about nostalgia. Like that probably won't go well. My health has improved in so many ways. I was starting to have grays form in my beard and at the top of my head. Yes, I'm bald, but hair still grows up there. It's just I look like George Jefferson from the hairline. So that's why I went bald, because I also got like a dent in here from when I hurt my head as a little kid. But having gray hairs was scary. And I know why I was getting them grays. So now that I don't have that problem anymore, it's like a good relief. But at the same time, it's just so crazy because I was too young to be having gray hair. And I see some of my peers with gray and they like my age or younger. And I'm just like, bruh, you got to do better with that stress management. And I know it's genetics and everything. And I never say nothing because I remember when people would see me with going bald or like getting grays, they were like, bro, you stressed. And that would make it worse. I think about it so much more. But now, since I don't have that problem anymore, I go out of my way to make sure that it does not hop up again. Because, man, I would be out of luck. I'm bald already. I got the beard going. But if I was bald and had grays, I'm gonna look like I'm 50 way before I'm even 30, and I just cannot because it's already hard. Like being myself with people having this perception that I'm a lot older than I am is definitely complicated. It is difficult pretending to be something that you are not. It's very tiring and exhausting. And rather than try to be your cool self or your calm self or your low maintenance self, just be unapologetically you, because people that cannot tolerate you or stand you don't need to be around you. I found myself trying to fit into a box for so long when at the end of the day, it was stressful to the point to where things wasn't going good for me. And now that I've like fully embraced being my true self at all times, my life has become a lot less stressful. It's so much easier just to express yourself, express your intentions, what you want from people in your life, what you don't want from people in your life, than trying to fake the funk and be a facade or show that you're not really pressed about stuff. Just get it off your chest and move it out of the way. So if you holding on to something that's like got you trying to clam up or put on a mask to hide how you think, feel, or what you believe in, let it go. Let it go, let it go. And switch it up. Like, be your real self, because eventually you'll get tired of that. It is so exhausting trying to present your best self 24/7. It ain't realistic and it's not sustainable. I was in the car with my parents on the way home after church because I didn't want to drive. I don't regret it. Now, normally I always hate when I ride with my parents anywhere because my daddy be smoking the Black and Milds. Him and my mama like to argue about any and everything. I think that's their love language. But my mom had a really good question in the car to me in front of my dad, which ultimately means she wanted me to prove her right and prove my dad wrong. But the question was, is my time mine since I'm married? I don't know why my parents asked me to mediate their conversations, because clearly I have not had a long, loving, lasting relationship. But for whatever reason, in their 25 years of marriage, they decided that they want me to be the person to break some of this stuff down. And it was a really healthy dialogue because my parents have come a long way in their communication. They were affirming each other. Like my dad apologized in the middle of the conversation. Still don't know. It got to a point to where I just asked, who are y'all and what have y'all done with my parents? I thought I had been kidnapped, because they had a healthy conversation there and on the way back. But to the question of, is your time yours in a relationship or in a marriage? And I think that yes, it's yours. However, how much you willing to give of yourself to your partner is going to make a really big impact on how the relationship go. I feel like the more you give to some people, the more they'll be willing to like go with that. Your time is your time, but the way I explained it to my parents was, if you got a cactus, it might not need that much water. But if you got a sunflower, it might need a little bit more water than a cactus. At the end of the day, you got to meet the needs of your partner where they at. And people change. My parents, who they are today, is still something I'm getting used to, because I really feel like my parents have been swapped like the people from us, because they're completely different now. But my dad says that it's because we all grown now. Like me and my younger brother, nobody live with my parents no more. We all doing our own thing. And maybe that's allowing them to connect on a different level because they don't have kids. The majority of their marriage and relationship, they was raising us. My parents had me within 3 months of being together. And yeah, that just goes to show. They got married. I was like 2. At some point, people change. And that's something I'd be worried about too. Like, you fall in love with somebody for who they are in the moment, and then like 5 years later, they somebody completely different. And you got to love them through all of that. So we'll see how that go for me, because I definitely am not the person I was last year or the year before that or 5 years ago. You're probably wondering how we got here. Let me take you back. Way, way back. Nah, that ain't right. That's not the right time. That ain't the right time either. But family trip, family trip, family trip. Got my mom and my dad with me going through the airport. This is the second flight in my entire life I've ever taken with my parents. Let's see how long it takes for them to start arguing and talking mean to each other. I say we don't get out of the airport without something silly happening. What say you? And just like that, we off to go see our boy. Parents nervous as can be, but so excited. After we touch down, I immediately link up with my cousin Derek, who's also Fred, and we get to the pool table because, of course, you know, family. Damn, Skippy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you break because I'm over off in your territory this time around. But we gonna see. Yeah, we having fun, all right. Look at this. One hand man, one hand man, one hand man, one hand man. Gotta go. Let's go eat. Let's go eat. Now he cooks way better, and then he plays pool. So make sure y'all tap in with his business.
Did I get to be on the podcast?
Yeah, we could work something out and do some interview. How did y'all meet?
Yasar and I, well, you want the real story? You want the cute story?
Give me the Patreon story.
We were orientation leaders.
This is Ida, everyone. This is Yasar's girlfriend.
I'm Yasar's girlfriend.
Yasar has a girlfriend that he met in Virginia.
Yeah, he does.
And
it's pretty good over here.
Oh, word. Okay.
Go! Let's go, 7! Let's go, 7! Let's go! Let's go!
Work it up. Protect the jewels, baby. Oh. Let's go, yeah. What y'all looking for? Go, Joe. Yeah. Go. Turn these boys up. Let's go. Let's go. That's right. Tight. Let's go. Get it right. Tight.
Yeah!
It's your star!
Yeah!
We are a third year!
Yeah!
In the McIntyre School of Commerce! And we are the hardcore four! We're from Houston, Texas! Do you want to know?
I do.
What are our big brothers call us?
Yeah! What they
Do you want to know? What are our big brothers call us?
Yeah!
They call us virtual! Do you want to know why? Why? You really want to know why?
Why?
Because we are the master of all the elements of success.
Yeah! Come on,
One day down and a lifetime to go. My baby brother in the frat now. Look at us.